No, come on, away.
Talk like you're gonna talk.
Like this, right now.
Yeah.
Cannabis has been in my life for some time now.
And if you don't want to, you don't have to look at the camera. Look at me. Or Beth, are you gonna stay there?
Well,
Hang on, there's 3 cameras. Which one am I looking at?
See, I wish I was recording for this. I wish you was saying this. Like,
you are recording.
Am I recording?
Yeah.
I might just let it go.
I was going to tell Joe which camera.
I should just let it go from there, shouldn't I? It's a nice cold open. It's authentic. It's authentic Miles. Welcome to the Miles High Club podcast. I'm your host, Miles. What number is it? This is episode 20. This is episode 30, I think, guys. Or was it episode 29? I'd see. This is what happens when I do zero prep. While I'm looking and researching for my prep, I finally have guests. As you all know from watching the podcast, I no longer have a garage. It's been knocked down. So I'm joined by my good friend Joe.
So.
And I'm also joined off camera by Beth. Beth, give us a shout.
Ciao, ciao.
There we go.
Ciao, hello, good boy.
No, chase, good boy.
Is it both?
I don't even know what language it is.
Yeah.
How do you?
So, fingers crossed, audio. I'll work on audio in the edit, so, or however you're hearing it, I apologise, or thank me later. Oh, someone's car alarm's going off. It adds to the atmosphere. So yeah, we are in Joe's lovely garden because mine is nowhere near complete and it's nowhere near as nice as this. But this is a 420 special. So not the day it comes out, but the day we are recording this, it is 420, which is the 4th month of the year and the 20th day of that month, 2021. So here we are, and I'm joined by would you call yourself a 420 specialist?
No, I just like a bit of 420.
It's like a bit of 420 lark. Sweet. So I'm going to start off this 420. Start for the 420 episode. Joe, what's your favourite 420 song?
420 song.
420 song.
I'd say because I got high is one of them. That's a good one. But I don't know. There's a tune B.O.B. I've played it. You've listened to it, haven't you? B.O.B. sings it. Rolled up. Check that one out.
Do I know that one?
That's a good one.
Okay, see, I think I know.
Yeah.
I'm not googling it. We're looking at something else. Hold on. So that's your favourite song? 420 movie.
Harold and Kumar Get the Munchies.
Hold on. Is that the first
Jack
one?
McCauley will know why that.
That's the first one, yeah.
Yeah, the first one.
And then is it White
Castle?
Castle's the second one?
No, White Castle they go first one. The second one's Guantanamo Bay.
Oh, see, okay. You just cleared this up
bathroom.
for me because for some strange reason I thought Harold and Kumar Get the Crunchies was one movie.
Crunchies. Crunchies.
Harold and Kumar Get the Munchies.
Go to Cadbury's World.
They go to Cadbury's World and get crunchies. No, Harold and Kumar Get the Munchies. I thought that was one movie.
Yeah.
And then I thought Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle was a whole nother movie. So they're the same movie.
No, they're the same movie. I don't know if it's whether they come out in Europe, they change the name or something. I don't know that, but could be.
Is that the one where they meet Neil Patrick Harris?
I think he's in both.
The only thing
one where they go Guantanamo Bay. I think they end up going to a brothel with him.
That's the cock and meat sandwich, yeah?
Yeah. Big Bob and a cock meat sandwich.
Okay. That's a good one. I think, for me, it's Pineapple Express.
Yeah, no, that's up there with them.
Pineapple,
Top
there's
5. That's in the top 5.
the fight scene when they go to Red's house. They go to Red's house.
And he's threatening him with a cactus.
Before that, he goes into the toilet with the phone, and he's up to the They break down the door and he cracks his head off the scene. Time out. Okay, time out. Time in! Cheater! Yeah. Anything with Seth Rogen, to me, is funny, but no, yeah, Pineapple Express.
Yeah.
Pineapple Express is the one.
Also, you can relate to Pineapple Express as well, because everyone's got their own, manufacturer or friend.
Their own 420 friend.
Yeah, their own 420 friend.
Everyone has a 420 friend.
Yeah, that wants some hang round and 420 all day. And, if you know what I mean. You've got that one that you always go to and you're like, I don't really want to go to him because he'll have me there all day and change shit.
That makes sense. So it is 420. So for everyone at home, who surely everyone has heard of 420.
God, yeah, but I must say every year 420 social media you always get one person asking, what's this 420? What is it? Explain it. And it's like, did you not hear it last year? Did you not do your research last year?
Have you not heard it before?
I
So
understand there's people out there that don't 420, and don't have the knowledge on it. But
so I've got the origins here. I've got what the Wikipedia page says 420 is. But before we look at the actual wiki, what's your knowledge of the origin?
It is in the 70s. There was a group of lads. I think it's 5 or 6 lads. They called themselves the Waldos. And every day after school at 4:20, they'd go blaze a 420. They'd go enjoy themselves around the back of some shops, and then to make it more secretive, they'd make maps and put X's marking the spot of where they're going to go in the car to have some fun at 4:20. And that's what I know of it. And then it become a yearly not necessarily a holiday, but a yearly celebrated thing. Yeah.
See, mine's similar to yours because I got it as well. Every time I see it, I always see there's 2 groups of boys from 2 different schools that argue who actually started the trend. But the one I think of the most is a group of boys in some city in America finished school at 4:20.
Okay.
And when they'd finish school, they'd all finish school and they'd all meet up because they were from different schools. They'd all meet up at a spot and smoke after school before going home.
Yeah.
So they just call it 4:20 because that's when they finished. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
We're gonna go off camera. Hopefully they hear you, Beth. Otherwise, it's just gonna be a load of silence when you talk. What's yours? What's your 4:20 knowledge?
To be fair, I don't have much knowledge on it.
No knowledge.
It's just that it happens on April
20.
April 20th, that's what it's like for American stuff.
Yeah, it's a 4:20 because it's the American formation for the date.
Yeah.
All right, and so, you were very close, or from the look of it. So in 1971, so you did say the 70s. I didn't have a time. In 1971, 5 high school students in California used the term 420 in a connection with a plan to search for an abandoned cannabis crop based on a treasure map made by the grower, calling themselves the Waldos because their typical hangout spot was a wall outside their school. The 5 students, names all 5 of them, designated the Louis Pasteur statue on the grounds of San Rafael High School as their meeting place and 4:20 as their meeting time. The Waldos referred to this plan with the phrase 420 Lewis. After several failed attempts to find the crop, the group eventually shortened their phrase to 420, which ultimately involved a code word the teens would later use to refer as to consuming cannabis. So 420 is based on a treasure map. If that doesn't excite you, I don't know what will. We're technically pirates, I think.
Yeah. Well,
I'd like to think that technically now we are pirates, but
green pirates.
I'm trying to see.
Pirates of nature.
Apparently, the story got popularized and spread, and that's how it's all. In Australia. Okay, sorry, I got caught up with reading because there's all sorts of stuff behind this. Now, I don't understand how it works. I'm not against it. But how does 420 happen in Hyde Park? Is it just because there's so many people and there's no way to stop them?
I've never been myself, but I've seen pictures and stuff on social media, and it just literally looks like the field's on fire. I've
been Hyde Park twice.
On 420?
On 420. I've definitely been once.
Okay,
I'm trying to remember if I've been... But I've got pictures, and you literally see grass, a bunch of people fading, and then it's just like a thick line of all the smoke. When you see a picture, when you're there, it's just the smoke's in there. And when it's when it hits 420, because people are there all day.
Yeah.
Like, people are literally there all day for 420. But when it hits 420, it's just... And the whole of Hyde Park. And literally, if you walk around Hyde Park, there's police cars everywhere. So there's police cars all around the edge of Hyde Park. Plus, you've got police outside walking up and down and around the park. And when you walk in and walk out, they don't stop you. They don't say anything. I think I saw a video once of someone being stopped, and that was because we've got a guest. We may have guests joining us. You might see our special guests joining us in a few seconds. Here they come. It's Chester. There he is.
He's got froth all over it.
Hello, dogs. Hello. For the audio listeners, if you're a dog person, unfortunately you're missing two very beautiful staffies showing their appreciation to the MylesHighClub podcast right now. We're back. The dogs are gone. Unfortunately, they couldn't stay. Right. While we were away, I've pulled up a list for the 25 curious facts about cannabis most people don't realise. Are you ready, Joe?
Yeah.
I don't want you to look.
Okay.
So.
See if I don't realise any of them.
We'll see how many we know. Number 25, the earliest recorded uses of marijuana came from the 3rd millennium BC. Charred cannabis seeds dating back to that era were found in a ritual brazier at an ancient burial site in today known as Romania. So the Romanians are the earliest people to have been... Well, it says a burial, so did they smoke it or were they like buried with weed? And they went up with the ashes of weed, which doesn't sound like a bad way to go.
Or was they smoked with the weed? The ashes? You know, like kind of
like how, yeah. Okay, yeah. Oh, there we go. Number 24. Consumption of this drug has also been recorded in ancient China, 2800 BC, and Egypt, 950 BC. In both cases, the evidence was found in mummies.
Yeah.
Right, BC has no time effect on my life. I just know that was a long time ago.
Before Christ, apparently.
I'm not going to get into that, but yeah, before Jesus. before Christ, a long time ago.
Yeah.
So what's that? In evidence in mummies. Did they die as they were smoking to find evidence in mummies? Because don't they get their
the joint with them?
What happens with mummies now? They take out all their
they take all their organs out, don't they?
And preserve them.
And preserve them in little jars.
Okay, then so depending on how well they're preserved.
They wrap them up, don't they? And leave them somewhere.
Well, they put them they mummify them in a sarcophagus. Is that the word?
Are they all in sarcophaguses?
No, it was only pharaohs and
stuff.
It's the only
big ones, I think.
Which was there.
It's like when I went to Egypt, there was loads of mummies in the museum.
Right, 23. You been to Egypt?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I really want to go to Egypt. I went to the pyramids.
Don't want the shit.
You're a vegetarian, you wouldn't get the shit.
Yeah, unless you drank. Well, it depends what I don't want to.
Yeah, I
was going to say unless you drink the water, but I don't know what Egypt's water's like, so I don't want to.
Just buy bottled water in it.
Just buy a bottle. Yeah, that's the safest way of saying it. Like 23. Marijuana's use is not limited to drugs. Its fibers can also be used to make rope or fabric. Scientists suggest that iconic stones on Easter Island might have been moved with the help of such ropes. Isn't that hemp?
Yeah, hemp. So hemp's obviously it's legal in UK. It's not.
Yeah, you can buy hemp.
Yeah, you can buy hemp products, can't you?
Yeah, hemp it's grown for the strongest fibre, whereas your cannabis is grown to have high CBD, THC, all them kind of.
Okay then. See, this is why I brought you on the show.
Yeah.
You know all the acronyms.
I don't know like the deep shit, but I know
Right.
knowledge.
I don't know when this is from, but it's a Daily Mail article, so I'm not going to do too much research into it. Number 22. Researchers indicate that 42% of Americans have tried marijuana at least once.
Only 42? Really?
Is that not a lot?
See, no, I'd
You reckon
say
that's a lot?
more than
Let's-
50%.
Okay,
I'd say more than half the population's tried.
let's go by. I don't know when this. That was the weirdest noise. I don't know when. I don't know when this article was taken though, because it's legal in a lot more countries now.
Yeah.
I thought you swallowed a. I was just about to say I thought you swallowed a fly, and then a fly tried to fly in my mouth as I said it. Number 21. Indoor. Oh, see, I'm being attacked everywhere now. I can feel it all over me. Number 21. An indoor grow module housing just 4 plants consumes as much electricity as 30 fridges.
No wonder fuckers get caught. No wonder people get caught.
Did you ever see that? I don't know how real the image is or if that's what it really was. Have you ever seen that image of there's a bunch of houses covered in snow?
Yeah.
And then there's the one house that there's just no snow on it.
Usually left doesn't grow.
That's what's giving it me. In December 2012, the U.S. state of Washington became the first state to officially legalize cannabis in a state law, with the state of Colorado following close behind.
Is that
2012. So what's that? 10 years ago next year. It would have been legal. Is it? I think it's recreational because it's recreational in Colorado.
It's recreational in Colorado because I bought it in Colorado.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So it's recreational Colorado. Number 19. Marijuana and beer have more in common than you would think. Beer hops are the same family of flowering plants as cannabis. Yeah, but the final products have you acting in two very different ways. 18. Marijuana doesn't only treat people. Pet owners are already using the drug medicinally to help their suffering cats and dogs. However, in large quantities, cannabis can be deadly to animals.
I know dogs can get high as shit.
Yeah,
It's
they can.
like they get affected more, way more than us.
When I was at uni, there was a guy, and he had made some cookies. He left them on the side, and his dog had knocked them off and ate them all. And he said he'd come back, and his dog was literally like it could not move. And he was like, "What the hell's wrong with the dog?" And then realised that all the cookies had gone, and was like, "Oh shit."
Oh shit. Oh wow.
Yeah, edibles hit you anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've seen the way I've never seen it affect an animal in person, but I've seen the way it affects some humans.
Yeah. Just not for some.
And me humans are bigger than these animals. Yeah. Right. The toxicity of THC, the principal psychoactive constituent. Man, there's got some big words in this, and today of all days isn't the day I need to be doing big words. The toxicity of THC is the principal psychoactive something of marijuana is very low, in making human deaths from overdose extremely rare. If this happens, they usually follow an injection of hashish oil. Okay, let me put that into English, because the way I read that, you'd think I don't know how to read. They're basically saying that the toxicity of THC, which is the main thing to weed, is so low in making human deaths that an overdose is so rare, it normally only happens because someone's injected hashish oil. I didn't even know people injected
shit like that.
the sentence. Even if you take hashish out of it, but injecting oil does not sound.
Oh no, it's not gonna
Look,
be really good.
I hate
that
the.
woman that injected kitchen oil into her face and it just like deflated.
Why?
She injected kitchen oil into her face.
Because she thought it was going to give a Botox.
Vegetable oil, yeah, like a Botox, and it just like homemade.
The word injecting to me,
Yeah.
it's.
Yeah,
I don't want to do it.
I don't mind needles, but
I've-
for recreational use, there's no need.
I'm.
Just no need in using them.
See, tattoos perfectly. They hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hurt like hell, but I'm fine with it. If I have to go to, I couldn't tell you that. When's the last time I had an injection? I've got a filling, and not even a filling. When I had to take a tooth out before, I had a root canal, and they had to inject my.
Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it?
And they're always like, listen,
What? It's not a scratch.
I feel like
It's a
punching
stab.
them because I've had it multiple times now, and I'm like, I know how painful it is. Stop calling it a scratch.
Yeah. Yeah.
If anything, you should tell me this is going to be the worst pain in your life, so that I'm getting ready. And then when it happens, I'm like, oh, it wasn't actually that
Yeah,
bad.
no, I don't mind them.
Because when you say it's a scratch, and I'm expecting a scratch, and then I get stabbed in my gums.
This is the type of people that look after your teeth. Tell you to look after your teeth and give you a Mars bar. No? You ever had that?
I've
Yeah.
never had a
They give you
dentist give.
lollipops, don't they?
Yeah, I used to get
Yeah,
lollipops.
lollipop or a Mars bar from the dentist.
They've got to stay.
Black country.
They've got to stay in business somewhere. Right, 16. Legalizing marijuana would generate almost $9 billion in federal and state tax annually. So that's for America. Which I learnt this. What was I watching? Have you seen? I spoke about this on a previous episode. Have you seen the documentary Crack on Netflix yet?
No.
In that documentary, they talk about how much money and how they make arms deals by using the money from illegal drug sales.
Right.
So if they were to legalize drugs, or even though to legalize weed, there would these weed sales from abroad would no longer happen because they'd be growing weed over there, so they wouldn't be able to make any money from. So 9 billion's a lot, but I'm sure they make a lot more illegally to fund all their shit they do over there. Number 15, over 800,000 people are arrested for marijuana-related criminality in the US every year. What is a marijuana-related crime? That's being caught with it, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's either being caught selling, buying.
Is that in the illegal
Or-
states, I presume?
Yeah, because
Because I think
a marijuana-related crime.
You can actually like travel, because I travelled across state with weed in an aeroplane, and you can take a personalised amount, like it's like, you know.
It depends what states you're flying between, though.
Oh, see, I flew to like in between Utah from Colorado to Washington, Seattle.
Oh, see, yeah, no, both states where you can.
But Utah you can't, and I had to stop off in Utah, so obviously my bag was there, but I never got tested, checked again.
That's very lucky. After alcohol, marijuana is the second most popular recreational or mood-altering substance in the world. Am I surprised? No. Yeah, it makes sense that alcohol's first. I feel like everyone drinks.
Yeah, I feel like...
If you think about how many people you know that drink compared to how many people you know that smoke.
Yeah.
But is that because it's illegal in a lot of countries? Still?
Probably that.
See, you said, yeah, because in the UK it's illegal.
Yeah. I mean, British are big on drink anyway, ain't they?
Yeah.
So you drink from the
Our variables are wrong, aren't they?
God.
I thought that was going to come and get on camera, then the size of that bee that just flew past. Yeah, I think for Britain, but are we such big drinkers because you can't smoke? Like, what would happen? I always say, like, what would happen if...
MDMA was legal and a few other things were legal.
Not even MDMA. Right, I'm going to come back to this list. If they were to legalise weed in the UK, but they were to treat it like cigarettes and alcohol. So they treat it as alcohol in the sense of age limit, so you got to be 18. You can't drive, well, you shouldn't drive. Depending on where you work, if you can't turn up to work drunk, then you can't turn up to work high. Because I've always thought, how would you deal with smell? What would if you owned a work, or how would you deal with smell? Because on one hand,
what if I'm turning up?
No, just the smell of it. Because on one hand, if you turn up to work smelling like alcohol, people will assume you're drunk.
Yeah.
And you'd be kicked out of work or fired.
Yeah.
But if someone's smoking a cigarette, they're going to come in smelling like cigarettes. So if I was to come into work and be like, I smell because I've been around people that have been smoking, how do you deal with that?
That's true. Because that's my go-to blame. Like my brother smoked because I've been at home with him. If I was at work and I ever get told to smell. Yeah.
I never smoked at school, but like if you... depending on where the smokers were, if you ever went by them or walked through them, or you just buy one for too long, it rubs off on you.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't smoke. I just happen to be walking past a bunch of people that do. And I couldn't tell you who they are because they're in a different year to me.
I've always been the one by, isn't it? I've never had to deal with this. I mean...
Because you couldn't think of an excuse.
Yeah. That's out of all the things I think about when it comes to legalisation, that was the one thing I thought about by myself in a room. I was like, well, what would happen? So would they treat it like cigarettes, or would they treat it like... They'd have to treat it like alcohol. But then I'd be like... But if they treat it like alcohol, you can... In the UK... in the UK, you can buy alcohol pretty much anywhere. Corner shop, big supermarkets, there are designated liquor stores. When we were in Canada, in Vancouver, you couldn't just go to the shop and buy weed.
No, it was like dispensaries.
It was all dispensaries. But then in Canada, that was the same for rolling. But anything you want just to roll.
Yeah.
Like, you can go anywhere around here, get a lighter, get Rizzler, get Roach.
Yeah.
In Canada, you had to go to a certain spot to get all of that stuff. Yeah. And that's the same. Was that same with alcohol? Did they sell alcohol everywhere?
Yeah, they probably sold it everywhere, didn't they?
Okay, alcohol's probably the one thing they do sell, but they had tobacco shops.
Oh, it's mad, that is. But you do go abroad, and they do just have fag shops, backy shops and stuff, don't they? I've been...
That industry's...
Great, and...
They have e-cig shops now, don't they?
Yeah, vape shops.
Yeah, man, and them chickies, like when you walk in one of them.
I'd love to...
For...
I'd love...
Not for me.
No.
I
would I'd love them just to entertain the idea of what would happen if they legalised it, just so I could see what their plan would be.
Just give us a day.
Yeah, just give us a day.
Just give us a day of it, and we'll do...
No, because they'd make a plan and the plan wouldn't make. Like, I feel like they would try and make a plan where we would be like, oh my god, if that's what you want to do, leave it illegal. But at the same time, how can they make something that bad? If I'm making sense. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
You've lost me. Say it again. You've lost me.
So, I want to see them just come out and say, you know what, here we go. If we were to legalise it,
Yeah.
this is how it would happen.
Yeah.
Just so I could see what their plan would be.
Oh, like a
Yeah.
blueprint.
Yeah, because would they do something like... Because I'm sure in America, so they're changing something where if you want to own a weed farm or work on a weed farm, you need a cannabis farm, you need qualifications.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a law some states are trying to bring in.
But
Because
surely,
they're trying to... Again, they're trying to bottleneck
Yeah. the
who
industry.
can make the money
Yeah.
from it. So imagine they say over here,
Which is fair
right,
enough.
it's legal, but if you want to
I did get that.
own or work in a, what are they called? Farms. It'd be cannabis farm, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If you want to work in a farm, you have to have a degree in science.
Or have it horticultural, which is like nature in it, like trees and things.
They might say both.
Yeah.
But what?
Yeah, I guess you do need a lot of, I don't know, science and...
But it depends what the job is. If you want to just hire me to cut trees down,
That's it, if I'm being a picker, what happens if I'm just a picker and a cutter? Because that's a job.
cut here. Don't cut too low, don't cut too high.
Yeah, and they have them that just sieve
Routine.
through
The nug
it
falls off,
and
put it
just,
in the
like, get
basket.
rid of the stem and stuff. Like if you've ever watched Murder Mountain on Netflix, like it shows you like all the different jobs that you can do on that mountain.
Is Murder Mountain good? Because I haven't watched it, and for some reason,
It's really good.
I click on it, I'm like, it doesn't seem like it's going to be that good.
I've
It's
done
really
that a few
good.
times, yeah, I've gone to click on it and I've gone to...
It's,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
basically about a kid that got killed and his parents are looking for him basically, and it's like a true story. And he worked up on Murder Mountain, and then this, like, they just unveiled loads of things that happened on that mountain that people didn't know.
Is it documentary style, or is it like a film?
It's a film, but it is a documentary.
So it's documentary. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, like it's interviews and things like that, and they show you like news articles and like stuff.
Okay, right. Murder Mountain, that'll be one for me to watch. Right, back to the list. Where did I get to? Number 13. Oh god, here we go. This isn't something people don't know. Number 13, there are over 200 slang terms for marijuana. Some of most common nicknames include pot, grass, weed, hash, hemp, or ganja. Surely hash isn't a nickname. It's something else. And I'm
See, I
sure
find
hemp
Yeah.
isn't a nickname, because that'd
Yeah.
be something else.
See, when I first started smoking, I started to realise there's so many names that people with lack of knowledge on weed that just call it something like hash. You're smoking that hash, it's like, well, I'm smoking a form of it. Or, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that's like, what was the term I used to hear when I was in school? Skunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skunk's a breed of
It's
weed.
it's a strain, isn't
A
it?
strain of weed, yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas
And
I just used to
like-
think that's what people used to call it because it stinks.
And funny fact, well, experience of mine. When we went to Amsterdam when I was younger and I didn't smoke. Everyone said, "Oh, I don't want to touch that skunk. It rots your brain cells. It's that one that's the dangerous one. You can smoke the other stuff, but that one's the dangerous one." And then went to Amsterdam and it was actually at the bottom of the list on the coffee shop menu. And I said, "Why is it at the bottom?" They said it's the weakest strains at the bottom for this coffee shop.
Oh wow.
And yeah, skunk was like, he didn't even recommend to buy it. So.
Now you mentioned Amsterdam. People in America don't rate Amsterdam.
Because it's over. It's a what you call it?
They don't rate the weed over there.
Yeah, it's a, what you call it when you go abroad and you're travel. You. I've gone blank.
They don't travel in America. That's their problem. But whenever I see people say they've been to Amsterdam, they're like, it's nothing like what we've got at home.
No,
I don't know how true number 12 is. In North Korea, marijuana is legal. It's not even considered a drug.
Where?
North Korea. I feel like they're just trying to put out good press because everything that seems to come from North Korea seems to not be the most.
They're telling you what you want to hear.
11. Depending upon the weather conditions, soil type, time of harvest, and other factors, a sample of marijuana can contain from 3% to 20% THC. As a farmer, number 10, as a farmer, George Washington grew marijuana on his farm and promoted its growth. By farm, they mean plantation, where his slaves probably worked to grow his weed.
But not allowed to smoke.
Number 9, from 1850 to 1942, marijuana was considered a useful medicine for nausea. I don't know what that word is. Labour pains, nausea, labour pains, and was easily obtained at local general stores and pharmacies throughout the US. So how does that work? How does something start legal and for nearly 100 years it's considered useful medicine, and you could literally go to general stores or pharmacies throughout the US?
And get it.
Yeah.
So just like we would go to a, what would we go to a pharmacy to get? Is it ibuprofen? That's something you can't buy just in a shop, isn't it?
You can buy, but you're now limited now.
Yeah, you can only buy 2 packets of
Like,
each.
What's something that you have to go to a pharmacy to buy then?
Antibiotics.
Morphine, you've got to be.
Also, what's that other thing that you have? Like people that have been weaned off cocaine and stuff have to take.
I have no idea, because I've never had to be weaned off cocaine.
I guess so, yeah. But yeah, they have to go to a pharmacy in order to get that.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
But I don't know what it's called. Xanax. You have to get that from a pharmacy.
Listen, if that was the rule, I had to go to a pharmacy. Okay.
Yeah, that would be a dispensary.
Okay. Yeah.
That would be the idea of a dispensary.
And they'll say that you can't work in a dispensary unless you've got qualifications or you're a qualified nurse.
Which I think that does make sense, because if you're going to be advising someone on strains, on strains and like how they affect you and what they feel like, they've got to be the ones that have tried it, surely.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense. Right.
Because you're not going to trust someone with their experience.
Number 8, despite being beneficial to the human body in certain ways, one of marijuana's downside is the fact that it suppresses your immune system. How?
Buddy.
So smoking weed is meant to ruin your immune system. It doesn't help that a lot of weed smokers I see that talk about it openly are vegan as well, so it's kind of a...
Yeah.
I never really get ill that often.
No, I don't.
Are you vegan or vegetarian?
Yeah, vegan.
It's okay, you're vegan, so that doesn't help.
I'm vegetarian.
And you're vegetarian. Well, I'm a vegetarian, even though I've only been a vegetarian for like 3 weeks, and I got ill the other week. I was so upset. I was like, I thought veggies didn't get ill, but I guess it was...
But it might be because of a difference in diet, because your diet might be higher in a kind of fattier sugar salt.
My diet is trash.
Okay, so more, and then you've instantly changed it to a more kind of
healthier,
based diet, and your body just freaks out a little bit. Did you never watch that episode of Drake and Josh when they swapped diets and Drake got a rash?
Never.
Yeah, I'll watch that.
Never. I think I only caught a few episodes of Drake and Josh. I was never into the Drake and Josh.
No?
Keenan and Kel, loved them.
Keenan and Kel, loved
Drake
them
and
too.
Josh, I was just like,
It's Nickelodeon's version.
Yeah, Nickelodeon.
yeah, I was just... Right.
It's the posh version. I've got to get him inside. Come on. Come on.
Joe's gone, so it's just me and Beth. Right, number 7. When used topically in the form of lotion or ointment, for example, cannabis does not cause the inebriating effects associated with the drug and does not show up on a drug test.
Yeah.
What's if I was to melt it down and make some sort of body butter?
Well, they do that, don't they? You can buy like rubs and stuff to help cure.
TBD oils? No, TBD.
CBD oils.
CBD oils.
That's essentially what they mean, isn't it? You can buy soaps and all sorts. Does it show up if you drink it, like a CBD drink? Say if you smoked it, like in the vape,
would it
just
drink?
CBD
Yeah.
oil.
It's like the
Would it
cannabis
show
lollies.
up
If
on
I
a
had a
drug-
cannabis
a drug
lolly
test?
like you have in Amsterdam,
Yeah.
or does it show up if you have a brownie?
Well, that is weed, isn't it? Whereas CBD oil.
Oh,
things
okay,
like that
yeah.
is different.
Oh, that's a good point actually. I'm gonna Google that. Number 6, bummer for the green cannabis fans. Oh, the production and distribution of marijuana in America emits as much carbon as 3 million cars.
Oh, so the production of cannabis.
The production of weed in America emits as much carbon as 3 million cars. Well, America needs to sort out how they're
They're fucking falling.
how they're doing their production. Number 5. Held every November in Amsterdam, the Cannabis Cup is the world's largest cannabis festival where judges from around the world sample and vote on their favourite marijuana varieties. Everyone knows that. Well, if you're into weed, you know about that. According to a scientific study, only about 9% of people who consume marijuana become clinically dependent on the drug. 9%? The way people go on and talk, you'd think it's like 70% of people who become dependent on it.
But surely that's down to the person, isn't it?
9%
Because
of
I
how
think
many
everyone's
people?
affected different by it. I think 9% of people, it depends if you've got an addictive personality. And if you're...
Or if you've been on drugs before and weed is your way of getting off those harsher drugs.
Yeah.
I suppose. They always see how they try and say weed's a gateway drug. I hate the phrase gateway drug.
My mum
it is
calls it
not
a
a
gateway
gateway.
drug.
I'm a perfect
I don't think it's on here, but when people say it's a gateway, I'm just like, it's really not. It's like the furthest thing from it. If you get high and someone's like, "Do you want to do some cocaine?" You'll be like,
Yeah, no thank you.
"Nah, man, I'm high." Why would I want to start jumping around the room?
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Well, the guy once asked if he wanted to swap some cocaine with some weed and...
with us, yeah.
You wanna
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some.
No, thank you.
weed.
I got some cocaine. You want to swap? No, thank you, sir. Right, marijuana is known to increase appetite and food consumption. Pigs in Bhutan are fed cannabis to make them hungrier and consequently fatter. Oh, it's like a CBD pig.
Yeah.
CBD sausage. I'm a vegetarian.
Do you reckon
but
that it would have kind of... Do you know, like how fish that had mercury in it, people got poisoned?
Nah, it wouldn't, would it? Because it's got a system in it. And it
Oh,
depends
true.
if they've got cannabinoid receptors as well.
Okay.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
slugs can't get high.
well, the amount of
Yeah,
weed,
They're already
the amount of smoke I've wasted blowing it on a slug.
Yeah, same.
It's going up something.
Yeah. You're blowing the smoke at the eyes going in. Oh yeah, he's getting that. He's really feeling
Take
that.
a hit, man. Jeez.
Yeah.
Right. Number 2, the most potent form of marijuana is hash oil, which usually contains 30 to 90% THC. The strongest type of hash oil is called Buddha, which has been known to contain up to 99.7% THC. That's putting you to
Nah, that's
sleep.
gotta, yeah, that's you're passing out on that, surely. Your body can't. Run on that.
Oh right, here we go. Number 1. This is what it should have been filled with. It should have been filled with things like this. The toughest drug laws in the world can be found in Southeast Asia. In Malaysia, for example, if you're arrested with 200 grams, which is 7 ounces of weed, you can receive a death sentence.
Yeah, just say, in Thailand you can get arrested for smoking a cigarette on the beach.
When I went to the Philippines, I was doing research in the Philippines, and I saw that their president, whoever's in charge in the Philippines, he was currently doing a war on all drugs, and he was basically giving people the permission to kill drug dealers. Like, if you catch someone dealing drugs, kill them. Police officers had all authority to do what it took to get the drug dealers off the street. When you go to, so you know, okay, oh, here you go, perfect example. So you know Merry Hill, or shopping centre, but I'll use Merry Hill for a slot. As soon as you walk out of Merry Hill, there are people that will stand near enough in the doorway smoking. In the Philippines, everywhere we went, if you wanted to smoke, you had to walk at least 100 meters. Like, we were in a call center, you had to walk out the call center and then all the way to the far end of a car park, like a massive car park. In a shopping center, you had to walk out the shopping center, out to the other side of the car park, cross a road. And I was like, they do all this to stop people smoking in a concerned area. Outside the hotel, you couldn't smoke outside the hotel. You had to
It's
literally
probably to keep
walk.
it off the street so it doesn't look messy on the street.
Yeah, I was gonna say the mess on the street from the fag ends,
Yeah.
and then you've got the smell of it. Like,
But it was crazy because I was in the airport in Hong Kong, and they have like these buildings.
Or like a box that you
It's
can
like a
hot
box.
hot box of fag.
Which
Hot
was
box
one
of
of
fag?
those when I was younger in Zante, and it looks like just a cloud of brown smoke. Just
It's literally, I didn't go in there because I don't smoke cigarettes, but
Yeah.
as you walk past, like, you'd see the door open and people walk in, and even though they've got extractors in there, it's just a thick cloud of smoke that
yeah.
just stinks.
Clothes stink after that.
yeah.
Imagine sitting next to someone on the plane after they've walked out of that. I'd be so annoyed. I'd be like, listen, if I don't fall asleep in 3 seconds, me and this guy are going to fight while we're in midair. Oh no, I couldn't do it. Right, that brings us to the end of our list, and we're going to bring it to the end of the 420 special. Everyone watching, I hope you had a good 420. If you didn't, remember, it's always 420 twice a day. I feel like I should make that a t-shirt. That is right, isn't it?
Right there.
Yeah, it's 420 twice a day.
4:20 a.m. to 4:20 p.m.
Yeah, 4:20 AM, 4:20 PM. I feel like I've just blown Joe's mind. I feel like he didn't realise that was a.
Looks like I'm setting me alarm right here now.
Right, thank you to my guests, Joe and Beth, who's off camera.
Thank you.
I've been Miles. This has been the Miles High Club podcast. Peace.